Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and also thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. So I'm coming back this week with the members free gift, which is the super cute From Our Gnome to Yours. And I'm starting off with the green, the Winter Wishes, which green was my mum's favourite colour, so I'm always going to start with green first. We've got these beautiful toppers, so you've got 4 decent toppers on there. This one he's already got a sentiment on, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 other sentiments, and then you've got your little present as well. And then the printed cardstock, you've got that the cute gnome. This knitted hat is just gorgeous. Again, that's the printed cardstock, and then you've got the foiled cardstock with the beautiful stars. I've got the big kit, so I've got the two inserts, and I've got the inserts in the printed paper, so matching this kit. I don't know if I'm using them today, I just dragged it all out. So they're double-sided, so you can choose either the holly side or this beautiful green snowflake and stars. So let me put that onto the top and let's get started. So I've got a piece of 6x12 300 GSM white cardstock, and the first card I'm going to make is just a quick little stepper card. So I'm going to pop that over to the 1 inch mark past the cut line, so my trimmer allows you to do that. And then I'm going to start from 1 inch up and cut down to the 7. And then I'm going to turn that card over and do exactly the same, so 1 to 7. Just make sure that when you turn it over, you've still got your cut line starting at the bottom, because if you rotate your card around, you could end up with a cut in a different place, and then it wouldn't necessarily work. In fact, it wouldn't work at all. Okay. So let's bring in my little score mat, my adorable scoreboard. I'm going to start by scoring at 1 and 2 and at 7. And then I'm going to turn that over, do the same on the other side, 1, 2 and 7. If I bring in a ruler, just going to turn it back over so it sits quite snugly in there. And then at the 6 inch mark, just going across the middle. Okay. And then when we take that off and ease those creases in. So just be gentle with them to start with. Just tell them which way you want them to go. So this one here, these are all going to be mountain folds. And then we've got one valley and a mountain at the bottom. And then as your sort of card begins to take shape, you'll be able to use something just to crispen up those lines, just taking the care to make sure that your card is square. And get pressed down as well. And then you're going to end up with a card that ends up like so. I'm not sure why that didn't quite cut to the end, maybe, but that is our card. So to bring the trimmer back in, and I'm going to take, because the foiling on this kit is gold, I've got a piece of gold mirror card. And I want to use one piece. This is the 6x6 mirror mat, so I want to use one piece to cover this whole card. So what I'm going to do is take this to 2 notches under the 1 inch, and then 2 notches under the 6 inch. And that is going to be, if I can pick it up, that's going to be my long piece that goes across the bottom there. Sorry, I've got glue on me. I spilt the glue before I started. And then if I turn this around, and I want 2 more pieces that are 2 notches under the 1. And these are our side pieces. So they need to be 2 notches under 5 inches because we've got that 1 inch step on that side. And again, same thing, 2 notches under the 5 inches. Get rid of that little piece there. And then this piece here is 4 by 5. So I'm going to go 2 notches under the 4 and 2 notches under the 5. You can keep those if you want them for a little border or anything, but I've got loads of little pieces like that now, so that should fit quite nicely into there. Okay, so I'm going to start by cutting this cardstock at 5 3/4, and then I'm going to, just wondering, because I want these on both sides. Yeah, I'm going to take those off first of all. So I'm going to take this to 3/4 of an inch. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to take that to the red line, and then I'm going to cut that at 3/4 of an inch because I want to keep that piece of that gold, the gold stars in. So got that one there, and that needs to be 4 3/4. And then I'm going to do the same thing here, just cut that at that cream pitch just before the thread. And then again I'm going to go to 3/4 of an inch. And I want that to be 4 3/4. And that's going to go on that side there. Okay, now let me just measure that one, so that is still, so this one we can just take another piece of 3/4 of an inch, and that should be 5 3/4. Just a little longer than it should be, and that should fit onto there quite nicely. And that's going to be our piece on the bottom, and then this piece here, so it's going to be 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. So I'm cutting all that red off this bit. Still got a decent sized piece there. And then this piece should fit quite nicely onto our gold mat there, and it does. So that should be all of our cutting, I think. So let's do some assembling. So I want to make sure I've got that beige sort of edge on the inside. So the glues I'm going to be using today, they're going to be my usual glues. So in this one I've got the Kalau tacky glue, and in this one I've got the Kalau all purpose. I use a combination of both. So I'm going to start with these outside pieces, a little bit of tacky glue on the corners, and then I can just pop that into place. Not quite as square as it should be, but okay. Let's pop this bit straight on top. So I had a couple of nice days off. Didn't quite get as much done as I wanted to. It's usually the way, isn't it? But I got majority of it done, so I'm happy with that. Just can't help but thinking that's on the wonk a little bit. I think it's just because that fold for some reason is not like as straight as it could be, and I'm not sure if it's the top bit or this bottom bit. I think we're going to have to live with it, so we'll move on. Okay, so this other side, yeah, I'll just move that back into position. And we've got the summer sale on at Hunkydory, haven't we, at the minute? So loads of great things, great prices, and a nice little break from Christmas as well. For those of you that was fed up of Christmas or that don't do Christmas quite yet, obviously we're going back to Christmas with this one. I'm not sure if the magazine's on the way because I had a notification that I've got something coming from Hunkydory and I don't remember ordering anything. That's not to say that I haven't ordered something, because sometimes I forget. But I think it's probably going to be a magazine, but I'm not sure. I'll find out tomorrow. Bought the Santa paws that came. That was super cute. Can't wait to have a little play with that. And I got the advent calendar pad and the advent calendar die set, and sort of looked at it last year and like was umming and ahhing whether I wanted it or not, because I like traditional advent calendar, don't get me wrong. I did buy the Spellbinders one this year as well, so I do like an advent calendar with things in as well. But I do like this sort of nostalgia of just opening the little doors one. So, and there was on the pad that I bought there was a Scotty dog, so that will be mine. I think there's a religious one as well, which will be Donna's. I'm going to try and do one for Leslie. I don't know which one I'll do for Leslie yet. We have a sister. She would be quite happy with the religious one, to be fair. She goes to church. And obviously she's got her little Frenchies, so she loves Frenchy dogs. Just give it a press down. And that is our card base. Lovely before we even start, even though I'm not quite sure why it's slanting over a little bit, and it seems to be going more so. Not quite sure why. Maybe it's to do with that side more. That's all right there. That side seems to be going up a little bit, doesn't it? Let's try smoothing that down a bit, see if that helps. No, still a little bit on the wonk. This is what I do sometimes if it's not quite going as I think it should do. And then I get tempted to just keep playing around with it. I'm going to leave it, just let it be. So, oh, okay. Let's bring this in. So I'm going with the biggest topper, and it is a whopper of a topper because I think it's about 5 inches and about 5 across with the biggest frame. So let's pop this on and have a look at how we can have this. So probably going to be missing this middle one out. So he's quite big on there even as he is. And let's just gently take that. and round. Okay, let's see how we can have this on here. Obviously I need to trim these pips off. Yeah. So let's grab my scissors, and it's quite a nice chunky frame, this one, so I'm just trimming these pips off, which are quite prominent on this one. And there. And it's not really until you put it against the green that you sort of notice how prominent they are. But we seem to have got the majority of them. Okay, so actually I'm going to knead that down a bit. So what I'm going to do is just turn that over, because I'm not going to put any foam pads on this piece here because it's hardly even on that edge. So I want foam pads on the bottom up to around about there, and you know, across here will be fine. I'm going to go with 1mm ones. These are the Affix-It ones, so I'm just going to cut these down a little bit. Hopefully not going to need more than that, I don't think. So I could just let me just bring that down so I know I'm alright going across the bottom of here. And then if I chop that in half, hopefully we should be, and I'm going right to the bottom of the card because I still want to try and get this in the 6x6 envelope. So the envelope that I get from the Envelope People, that's the company that I've been buying envelopes from. I buy a generous 6x6, so I think it's like 160mm, maybe 154. I'm not quite sure off the top of my head now. But yeah, so there is quite a bit of room, which means that if I was to go quite high with these foam pads, I would probably get away with it. But it also means I've got a little bit of leeway on the length as well. Obviously, if you're going to do a 7x5 card, something like that, I'm just wondering whether that's going to go over the top. But let's pop a bit there. And do I need this piece? No, I don't. So let's just put that back on there. Put that in a safe place. Okay. And let me just pop that against there, and I just want to see if I can see that pad on the other side. Just slightly. But I do want something there to support it, so what I'm doing is just gently cutting into it with my knife. And hopefully it's not going to make too much of a mess. I can always use a bit of that alcohol glue to tidy it up if I need to. And that's a squeaky noise, isn't it? Just going back there. Just where the glue's gone a little stringy. I think we should be alright though, because it's just tuck it under that pad. And I think we should be okay. Let's see. Okay, let's turn our card around the right way. So, I am going to put some tacky glue on the back of these pads just to give me a little bit of wiggle room time. And that's just going to help place that. So, I've forgotten to cut my nails the other day. Oh, come on now. There we go. all of these off. There we go. And there goes the tacky glue at the top and the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is just by eye, oops, not drop it on the thing. I want it to be sort of equal on each side. I think looking at the top they've got the same amount of green on, so that is going to be our piece there. Now this one I'm going to come in with some 2mm foam pads. Again, these are the ones from Affix It, I think it is. I think that's what it said. And these are the smaller pads, so I don't need to cut these down. I think if I was going to buy some more of these, I'd have a bigger size. Give that a good press down. And then rip these off. And because this little guy has got a sign that says Merry Christmas, I'm not doing any other sentiments with this one. So that means that if I, because I got the pack with the little book, I can use one of those sentiments with the little book if I need to. It just gives me a few more options. And sometimes it's nice to have a sentiment saying, you know, have 2 sentiments on a card. But on this occasion, because he is pretty much the front of the card, I'm going to leave him as he is. So I'm not going to do any other sentiments. I am, however, going to grab a few gold beads or pearls. These are the mirror ones, and I'm going to go with 2 small ones on that side. Come on, there we go. And then I think I'm going to have one big one on the other. And I'm not going to put anything down here because I know that frame has covered a lot of that up. So really, we've only just got a bit of accent of that green on there. So less is more on this card, as opposed to my usual more is more. But that is our first little stepper card. Obviously it needs the insert in, and I will do that 5 by 6 inches, just under. And it will go across from there to there. I never try. It's just almost an impossible task unless you're super clever with a knife or a trimmer. So that is our first card, and I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for my second card, I'm just going to do a 6 by 6 card. So I've just taken one of those 12 by 6 card pieces and scored that in half. I'm going to bring the trimmer in and a piece of gold mirror card, and I'm going to go at 2 notches under the 6. You know how I like to have that little white border, and that should fit quite nicely onto there. And then if I measure this, I'm sure I could get from the red. So I'm just looking to see what's going to be 5 3/4. So I'm thinking if I go the edge of the red across there, and then 5 3/4. Comes out exactly there. So we've just got that little line of snow all the way around. This should be already 5 3/4, maybe it's not, because this is that piece that we've cut off. So let's just, did I do it that way? Probably I haven't. Nope. So 5 3/4 that way. And the same for these pieces here. Actually, what I'm going to do is put those together. So I want them to be exactly the same. There we go. Okay, and then I also want a piece of green ribbon. I'm just wondering, did that sort of show up? I could do with a brighter green maybe. Let me just see what I've got here. A light green that's too bright. That one's an emerald green. I wonder if I go with the emerald, I think. And this is one that has either come from Temu or AliExpress, so that's the only place that I buy ribbons and gems from, really, because tends to be quite good value for money, to be honest, and you can get sort of smaller pieces rather than having a whole roll. The only difficulty is that it takes quite a while to get here, and also you don't really know what you're getting until it comes. It might look pink on a picture, and then when it gets here it's like luminous pink, and it's horrible. But I'm sure it will get used. But yeah, that's the only problem. But I suppose it's the same with any photo of a product, really. You never really know whether it's been taken in good light, whether it's a good representation, do you? Okay, so just going back with my glues again, popping that on. And I'm going to pop out the other large topper here, and I will need a sentiment for him because he's not helping us out with a sentiment. So we could go merry and bright. We'll go merry and bright because he's got his little lantern, hasn't he? That's quite bright. I'm not sure he looks merry. None of them look merry. But they might just be the moustaches. Grab my scissors and just do his pips again. This does seem to have quite chunky pips on it. I'm not sure if yours is the same. There we go. Right, so my plan was to have these, I think probably that way round, across there with our bit of ribbon. If I haven't cut it too short, no, it should be fine. And then our little guy, and then our little thing. And then I might go with some red gems on this one because we've got the red in the lettering, we've got red here. And we've got some little mistletoe-y things, holly and mistletoe berries on him. Okay, so let's start by popping these on. And we want it around about the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it to be did I say I wanted it that way? Do I want it that way? I want it that way. That's the way I want it. Let's put that down there for a second. I'm not pressing it hard, so in case I have to move it a little. And then you want that way around. Sneak that on and across, and if I pop that sort of round about where it needs to be, we should be quite equal on each side. So I'm just using my mat here and the lines just to try and keep that sort of in the middle space. What I'm going to do is give that a minute or so just to settle down. While that's doing that, I'm actually going to use these Hunkydory 2mm squares, quite big ones. I just found them on the computer now. They have been out a little while, so they are a little bit sticky, but that's because I've left them out in what has been quite a warm space. And then I find that they stick to my hands a little bit as well. Just cut that one up the middle. Just give that a nice amount of support. Hopefully that should be pretty good to go. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces of the super sticky tape, red liner tape. Now I got this one is actually a Hunkydory one that I've cut into at the minute, but the one that I usually use is the one that I got from eBay, which is a huge roll, which I do love. That's a slightly thinner one, but this again I found when I was doing a tidy up, and I just wanted to use it before it sort of got too sticky. Okay, so I'm just popping this over the join. Like I say, you could come in with red ribbon here. Unfortunately, all the red ribbon I've found so far has been not red, it's like a burgundy red. And I think this one really would need a red to fit in with that. Let's pop those out of the way. Actually, what I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of glue under there and on there. It just helps the ribbon stay in place, and it also stops it fraying. Not that I think any fraying would get onto the point where it's on the card unless somebody was pulling it, but it's just a precautionary thing really with me. Okay, so we've got our piece there now, and I'll pull these backings off. Yeah, the Santa Paws kit was beautiful. It really is beautiful. And I got the whole little kit with that one, so you will see that at some point because it is gorgeous. Here we go. We're going to pop him on the left hand side, walking into the trees with his little light. And let's use this piece of 2mm. We just cut into up there. One up. That's it. You need to go there. Oops, nearly spilled my Coke. Well, it's Pepsi actually. There we go. I think I want some red sparkly gems for this one. So I'm not putting a bow or anything. Just popping that one in. Let's see what we've got in the way of sparkly gems. I've got some green pearls. They are very nice. I don't think I've got any red ones. Sorry, you're going to hear me rustling. Let me just have a quick look. The only red ones I've got are the ones that I those ones. So I've got those or those. I really wanted something sparkly. I don't seem to have anything. We'll have to make do with one of those, I think. Or we could go with those shimmery ones. I'll go with the green pearls, I think. I made a lot of, well, not a lot of cards, but I have made some cards while I was not doing videos. And I do seem to have used those red, blue and gold and black quite a bit. So Let's see, I'm going to do the best one, or should I go for these? I'll go for these medium green ones. Ouch. That may or may not have been me. So 1, 2. Come on now. There we go. No, I don't think I've cut myself because it will be bleeding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Again, obviously this one needs a little insert in, so I will sort that afterwards. But that is as far as I'm going to go with that. I'm going to keep it nice and simple. The kit is so beautiful. The images are super cute, so you don't really have to do a lot with it. Let me just bring back in that first one that we did with our little green gnomes for Christmas. No, gnome, from our gnome to yours, our gnome to yours. I know I'm going to get that name wrong over the whole of this, but hey ho. But that's it for today. So thank you so much for watching and still being here, and also supporting my channel by subscribing and the likes and everything that you do. I really do appreciate it. But until next time, and I'm going to come back with this kit, I'm going to work through the whole of it. But until next time, take care of yourselves. Happy crafting. Bye.